Alrighty, hi everyone, this is Blaze, and in this video I had a request for seeing my macro setups and my option settings, so I'll show actually in both games, in P99 and on live. So anyways, getting started, so let's show my setups. So on live as it is, fortunately you have all these different save spell sets, whereas on P99 you don't. So what I do on P99, what I recommend is I made macro sets that pretty much have all the spells that I would want on each particular scenario. So I think this one's a quick with just the quick macros. This one is for traveling. Yeah, it's for traveling. This one's for a raid. It's another one for raiding, grouping, etc. I think that's swarm kiting. So the macros on P99 are pretty simple. You just do stop song first, so you instantly do stop song first, and then you cast whatever spell gem. The reason why you want to have stop song on is this: if I were to try to play a new song, I have to click it twice. But if I click just once here, it'll play the song. Same thing in this game. Yeah. So there's that. Now, and there's no bandolier in this game in P99, so that's not an option that's on the table, nor is there melody, so you have to manually twist everything. But let me show some other stuff, some of the other macros I got. Let's go to options. This stuff is all pretty much the same. Alright. So, some of the stuff I do specifically. Let's see. A target is one I do a little bit differently. This is the same exact thing I do on live. This helps out tremendously, actually. So I do cycle through nearest NPCs to be tab, and what that does, you can see my targets are changing, whatever's closer. How this helps out is if you're charm kiting and you got, say, 10 or something so mobs, if they're all stacked on top of each other, it's almost impossible to be able to individually target the one specific mob you want. So the way you would get to the target that you actually want is you just tap target. You just press the tab key until you finally find the mob you want, say the lowest on health, and work from there. And yep, it's the same exact thing for here. The next, let's see, nothing for camera. So the next thing I will show is Hotbar 1. This is a little bit different. So most of the macro sets, at least the Duxet UI that I use here on P99, you only really have 8 slots per se that are really usable, at least in my particular instance that I do. So what I do is I set up the hot buttons to specifically map to my number pad actually on the right hand of my keyboard. So if I press 1 on the keyboard, it'll be CeeLo, etc. Where it differs, well, one of the things I also do is I always keep the left turn key bound to this one, which is hot button 9. Same exact thing on this game. See, it presses the tracking button in. And what that's for is it constantly refreshes tracking, say on this game, or say if you need sense heading in P99 because you don't have a compass, it can help you kind of figure out what direction you're facing. And if you want, you can even put the D key for the turn right and map it to the right, map it to 10, but I don't do that. I don't think it really helps. Alright, so the next one that I shall show is, no, that's pretty much it for that. Yeah, that's all for pretty much the key setups, but what did I want to mention? Okay, so the key setups, they don't really need to be on this game anymore, so I'm just gonna camp out, because that's pretty much all you needed to see from this game. Stop song, etc. Cancel out. Okay. So, what I wanted to show was, oh, now I remember. Okay, so back in the day, back on P99, now you have to manually twist on everything on P99 because there's no melody command. So prior to me getting the special mouse that I have now, I had to manually twist on the number pad on the right hand of the keyboard exclusively. But I bought a MMO mouse, which is helping me out tremendously. Honestly, if you want to save yourself from carpal tunnel and you're going to play Bard, or any class for that matter, I would suggest this. So I'll show it. This is the mouse I actually use. As you can see, I think it's like 25-30 bucks. It's not that bad. Side angle shot is pretty much this one. That's fine. Anyways, yeah, you can see it's got all these different buttons on the side. I want to see if there's a bigger picture. A better side angle. Okay. So you can see, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So what's cool is the same exact keybinds for the hot buttons and the hotbar 1, which correspond to this, also correspond to my particular mouse. So the number pad works. This is pressing the number pad, and this next one's gonna be me using the mouse. So I actually never have to take my hand off the mouse. I can always keep it on and twist, which makes it helps out tremendously if you're gonna swarm kite, honestly, on P99. But even still useful here on live. And that's what I wanted to show with that. But one of the differences is since I have more hot button slots, so I have a total of 12, and there's 12 keys here, I take advantage of all 12. So as you can see, I bind 9 to A as usual, so every time I press the left key, tracking goes off. 10 is kick here. So 10, if every time I press this little key right here, I'll kick. 11, which is kind of in the middle, I set that to my number pad plus, which is my percussion bandolier, and 12 is my string bandolier. So that's how I have it set up. Yeah, pretty quick swapping. So let me show some of the macros I also use on live, since you have them in the first place. Okay, so in my manual twists, I'll often have so press B on the keyboard, and that'll bring up bandolier, and you can make macros. Hot button, yeah, like string, for instance. So that's how it actually is. That's what the macro is. And you can basically type it in to your particular spell sets. So Celos is percussion. So you want to use a drum for this. Nivs or Cantana, that would be stringed instrument. So if I press 3, it'll automatically swap to the stringed. And keep in mind, all these macros, stop song first, cast, and then your bandolier. Some songs don't have our singing skills, so it doesn't matter, so I don't. You'll notice I don't. But I'll include some text as to what I want to inform the group about. Now the next thing I'll talk about are my melody bandoliers, or my melody macros, and the way those work. So I keep them right here on this little section. The way melody works is you want to do stop song again, so you don't have to click it twice. Like I'll show melody 1, 2. So if I click that once, it won't play, and you'll be like, why is it not working? Well, it's not working because you didn't stop the songs previous, and now it'll work. But if you click this, just one try, and it'll go on. So, melody, it automatically swaps to the songs for you. Oh, I see. That's why. Yeah, automatically swaps to the songs for you. You can put a bandolier for it, but it'll only apply. You're still gonna have to manually twist or manually change the instruments to whatever's best for a particular circumstance. So that's just one thing to keep in mind for that. One thing I'll show, and yeah, the melody band. It's really simple. It just corresponds with what number the spell is, just like with these. In terms of loading spell sets, this is the macro. So I'm gonna be doing raiding just a bit. So I want to load my raid spell set. So you have a save spell set here, and this is the macro itself. It's /mem spell set, and then you type in the name of your specific one. Let's see, we're going to be fighting Finnegal, so I'm going to, or not Finnegal, but Vox, so I'm going to want elemental rhythms for this one. And I think I'm going to want Charm up. Okay, was there anything else I really wanted to mention, to be honest? I'll just show some other miscellaneous useful macros. I found this one out. Corpse drag. So I used to do /corpse, and that means every time it helps you pull a corpse, but when you do /corpse, you have to manually click the button every single time. Whereas if you do this /corpse drag, it'll automatically pull the corpse for you, and you don't need to click the /corpse macro. Like this one. Yeah, that's a manual to pull. And the problem is you'll be like, okay, I dragged the corpse to where I want it to go, but now how do I drop it? This is how you do it, /corpse drop. I think you can drag up to 2 corpses at one time. Bring up your advanced loot table, ADV loot. That. LFG, of course. Pick zone /pick if it's overcrowded in 1. But it won't be. Oh no, there is a separate pick. Follow command, of course. This one's really useful if you got corpses littering everywhere like this. You can see those corpses down there. Click hide corpse and it'll hide everything. So the macro for that is /hide corpse all. And if you want to do the reverse, you want to show the corpses again. Hide corpse off. Yeah, hide corpse off. And then one other thing you'll see, it's starting to get kind of spammed with all people's names. So if you want to show people's full names, you do show 4. If you want to abbreviate them down to just 1, bam, show 1. It helps out tremendously on raids when people's names clutter up the frickin' screen. Let's see, what are some other things I'll show? Some of the other things I have on live, as long as someone in your group is marked as the main assist, you can actually just use this macro. Where is assist? Yeah, you can use just /assist main. You don't have to change the name every single time when you get a new group. You can also mark NPCs. It puts a big number on them. Like it'll put 1 right here and their name. It's really useful to tag charm pets so people are able to differentiate. And you get 3 of those. Let's see if there's any other macros that I'll show that really matter. That's just a basic target or incoming. Percent and T when you target a mob. We'll say its name, so say target T. I'm targeting this pet, so it'll say Puppin. Puppin. There we go. And one thing I'll also show that I use, it gets kind of annoying. Toggle inspect off. Toggle inspect on. It gets kind of annoying sometimes because I use mouse steering to see, but I'll accidentally inspect people, which I'm not trying to do. So that actually could get you killed if you're trying to swarm kite or something on P99. So I often just keep inspect off, toggle inspect off. So no matter how many times I right click someone, I'm not going to inspect. Oh, some other things I'll mention on keybinds. They are screwed. I have con bound to C on my keyboard. And I have Q to first person. That helps sometimes when I'm in crowded environments and I need to instantly go from third person to first. I have X bound to crouch, which doesn't help so much as a bard because it won't stop your cast. It'll stop you from casting a new song, but it won't stop the one that's going on right now. The only thing that'll do that is stop song. And let me get over to Kidorian to show that even these macros are still useful. Yeah, so I can show that even these macros are still useful on a class that's not a bard. Just change it up a little bit. Hopefully this video isn't too long. I don't want it to be. Let's go on to Kidorian. Let's show it. So you notice I'll still have the same sort of thing on Kidorian, but instead what I do on my casters is I set sit to 10 on my keyboard so I can just use my mouse and sit down quick. I set 11 on my mouse to pet attack, and I set 12 to be assisting the main. So I do 12, it'll get the target from the main, send my pet in, and do whatever I'm going to do. And one other thing I'll mention is what? Okay, so these are the macros I have. Yeah, for casters, you don't have to have stop song because of course you don't have songs. So I just do a simple cast. If there's any info that needs to be set out, put it there. But that's pretty much all. show for. So it's all quite useful, to be honest. Yeah, tremendously useful. Helps out a lot. I think the MMO mouse too, from my understanding, can even be used in other games, especially like first-person shooters where you have a weapon wheel. Like in Fallout, for instance, you can use it pretty effectively. Help you switch between all your different weapons. But yeah, hopefully that's it for this video. Hopefully that helps you guys see just how I set up my own macros and my setups. Alright, thank you guys all for watching.